Yeah, so for a show that's all about being stuck on an island, there's a lot of religious imagery in it. One of the whole main themes between two characters, their main conflict is one's a man of faith and one's a man of science.
Is this Lost?
This is Lost.
Okay, you can't just come into a conversation like you just started like that.
Yeah.
I know that on the podcast it sounds like it opened in the middle of a conversation, but Bog very much just opened with that.
Yeah, I love Lost. I'm almost finished Lost. This
Isn't
is
there 8 seasons?
6
6?
seasons. We're on. So me, my mum, and my sister are watching it, and we're trying to finish it before I go. We have 6 or 7 episodes left, but the last episode is 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Yeah, before you leave
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
And today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
We're watching 4 episodes tonight. Oh, we've got 6. We've got 6. We've got 4 episodes tonight, and then 2 tomorrow. But the last episode's like a whole feature-length film. So.
Great.
But I'm finished.
Believe it, achieve it.
Mate, I've tried to finish this show at least 3 times.
You realise that when you finish it, none of your questions are going to be answered anyway. You might as well just not finish it and be like, I wonder.
No, but I need the badge of honour that's like, oh, I finished Lost and I understood it.
And all I got was this stupid t-shirt.
And all I got was an obsession with Lost. Especially Desmond. Big love to Desmond. If any of the listeners out there love Lost like I do, you'll know the Desmond obsession is real. Desmond, Saeed, the numbers.
The hatch.
The hatch!
What's inside the hatch?
Desmond's inside the hatch.
Well, I've never seen Lost, but I guess I've got no reason to watch it. No.
No, that's only season 1 and 2. That's kind of like the
Shall I watch it? 6 seasons.
Yes, come on, please watch it. You need to know what a power couple Jin and Sun are. You need to know about Miles and Marvin Candle.
I feel like when I watched Breaking Bad, I peaked too early. I was like, okay, I've now watched the best thing that's ever existed, and now
Oh my
it only
God.
goes downhill from here.
Lost is the best thing that's ever existed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take a chance on it.
Big Desmond. Oh, man, I love him. He's Scottish.
Hi, and welcome to the 1AM Book Club
Hello.
podcast. The 1AM Book Club Lost cast.
The Lost cast. This episode's all about Lost. No, it's not. I'd love to do an episode about Lost.
It's not. It is, in fact, about a book, just as all other episodes are.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And, yeah, today's book is...
On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Yes, a certified beat classic. I think 1957 this book was published.
I think so. It was something like that.
Let me just pull up the publishing page. Yes, it was 1957. First published 1957.
Yes.
By Jack Kerouac, who is really the founding father of the beat generation. But
the founding father?
Yeah. Or just the father.
Founding father.
He sort of coined the term beat. But we'll get into all of that. First, we'll get our questions out of the way. Bog, what is in... Now, you don't have anything in your mug because you don't have a mug today.
I don't.
But
I have...
Describe to us what's in your really interesting and cool bottle, and describe your bottle,
Okay,
please.
so my bottle is a insulated water bottle. It is really big. It holds maybe like 1.5 litres. It's decorated with stickers that I got online, mainly including bears, because everyone knows how much I love bears.
It's given like, did you ever watch that Koala Brothers program?
Yes,
on CBeebies or whatever
yes,
it was?
and they flew in a airplane.
Yeah, like a Spitfire.
Yeah.
A Spitfire. It wasn't a Spitfire, but you know, like
Yeah.
a crop duster.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and it was like made out of clay.
Yeah, it was claymation.
Anyway, I've got water in here because trying to get better at drinking more water.
Good. I wish I could say the same. However, I'm off the coffee because caffeine was taken out of me. I wake up every single morning and my eyelids are heavier every single morning. But I think it's because of my hay fever. But today I'm just on the classic Tetley. English, not a sponsor, English breakfast tea.
Oh.
A little bit of milk, no sugar.
I don't really like tea. Apart from green tea, I like green tea.
That's fucked up.
I know.
Everybody likes tea. Even people that like coffee are like, well, I don't like coffee, but I am impartial. I'm partial to a cup of tea.
No.
You don't like peppermint tea?
Peppermint tea's okay, but only if I'm like ill. I remember one time at work, I was like really like sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to call off sick because I was too scared. But
And
I was like,
made you a peppermint tea. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Lemon and ginger's really the one you want when you're sick.
Real.
Or chamomile, that goes hard.
I feel like lemon and ginger's like one for when you've got like a cold.
Yeah,
you're, like,
definitely.
try
I've always
to
got a cold.
Clear,
so.
clear the sinus.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? I'm reading. That was very smooth transition. I'm
Thank
reading The Cement Garden by Ian McEwan, who I think's a Scottish writer. Is he?
Ian McEwan.
Which makes me think he's a Scottish writer.
Ian McEwan.
It's The Cement Garden. It's a really short book. It's about 4 kids who are abruptly orphaned when, spoiler alert, I guess, although this isn't a blurb, so it's not really a
Yo.
I'm just trying to figure out if he's Scottish or not. It doesn't say anywhere.
Cement.
Just says
garden.
British. No, he's from Sussex.
Oh.
No, he's not. He's from Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So
Aldershot.
he's
Aldershot.
English.
He sounds very Scottish, doesn't it? Ian
Ian
McEwan.
McEwan.
Anyway, it's about these kids who are abruptly orphaned. Both their parents die, and basically they're just left in this kind of council house and to fend for themselves and the things that happen to them. It's very depressing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. I'm not that far through it. I'm only like 50 pages into it or something. But it's a really good book, and it's got a really nice cover. That's the only reason I picked it up. I was like, well, that looks nice.
Good. Yeah.
What about you? What are you reading?
Not so much reading. I'm watching Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing Lost. I'm also rewatching something else that has to do with children that are abruptly orphaned. I'm rewatching A Series of Unfortunate Events.
I've never seen it.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I did read the first book.
Oh my goodness. What do you know about Series of Unfortunate Events? What do you know about Hostile Hospital? What do you know about Dr. Mathathai's medical school? The Hostile Hospital is my favourite episode, part 1 and 2, because 2 episodes per book.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
I only ever read the first book in that series, and I really liked it, and then I just never went back to it.
Well, watch the TV show.
Lemony Snicket.
Watch the TV show with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, then the remake.
Oh my goodness, Neil Patrick Harris as Count Olaf, and Count Olaf's like little
alter egos.
Oh man, so good.
I should watch it. Speaking of TV shows, actually, do you know what I started watching? Well, me and Emily started watching it last night, although really we started watching it together and then she started playing Farmville, so I mostly just watched it. The Ripley series.
Oh, did you start it?
It's extremely good. Although it's quite it's quite different.
Yeah.
There's like a few things that I'm like, that's different. So, for example, like, you know how, well, this isn't a spoiler because we talked about it in the podcast
We've done the
before.
podcast.
So obviously it's Tom's idea to go out in the boat.
Yeah.
Where he kills Dickie.
Yeah.
But in the show, Dickie's like, let's go out in a boat. And I'm like, incidentally, Tom's just like, I guess I'll just kill you out in the boat. Like, it's whatever. And then he spends like genuinely 20 minutes of the episode trying to sink the boat. And it's extremely funny because he's like tried to set it on fire and then he tried to put rocks in it and it still won't sink.
Bro.
But Andrew Scott's an absolute machine. Like, honestly, his impression of the actor who plays Dickie, whose name I can't remember, but I've seen live in the West End. His like impression of his voice is so good, and it's really good. You should definitely watch it.
I really should. I need to find things to watch on this plane.
And Dakota Fanning is in it.
I love it. Oh my god! Of course.
You should definitely watch it.
I love this.
And it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Really faithful to the book, but also like a lot of changes. And also, interestingly, Freddie Miles, I think, is played by a trans actor.
Awesome.
Which adds like a whole other level to like the whole Ripley being queer thing. Because it's like, and also Dickie being queer. It's kind of, it's just really interesting. I haven't finished it yet. I'm on like episode 4. But it's good, man. You should check it out.
I really should. Man, Ripley.
Yeah,
every time I'm in Waterstones and I see Tales of Mr. Ripley, I'm like, oh man.
I'd like to shout out the local Waterstones, by the way, and I'd like to shout out Mini Bog.
Yes.
Anna Bogachev, because I was in the bookshop and they have like this stand that has
all the
books
local high
that all
school.
the local high schools have recommended. And on one of the stands was Talented Mr. Ripley, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Well, they must listen to our podcast. And then I walked up, and it was Bog's sister that had put it in the book. And I was like, oh shit, they actually do listen to our podcast.
Yeah, no, and it was and she didn't tell me about that. And she was like, and then you sent it to me, and I was like, oh my god, Anna, you're famous.
Literally.
And she's like, oh yeah, I didn't think they'd like they'd put it up there, and it's still no, it's not still
it's not there anymore, but it was up there.
It was there for quite a while.
And it was funny too, because like the other 2 books were like Thing by David Walliams and like some like astronaut dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man.
And the Talented Mr. Ripley.
She's the only one that's got taste.
Got that literary brain.
Yeah, like she's definitely my sister. She's the only one that's got taste.
But you should definitely watch Ripley while you're on the road to America. And speaking of on the road to America,
oh my goodness, I like what you did there.
Let's get into this book.
Right.
just tell me your thoughts. Did you enjoy this book? You seemed to when we were kind of catching up about it earlier. You seemed to be enjoying it.
I was a fan.
I think it's quite polarizing.
I think, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to it when I'm older as well, and
Yeah.
see if I take something different away from it.
It's very similar to The Catcher in the Rye. I actually think if I'd read this before, or like around the same time as Catcher in the Rye, it might have been one of my favourite books. But as it stands, it's a good book. It is fun. But I actually think that what it stands for is more interesting than the actual book.
I want to talk about this so bad. I've got so many things. I watched like a lecture. It was like
like a Yale
Yes.
University. Yeah, I watched that this morning.
Oh, I watched that.
She's
this morning.
great, isn't she?
Oh, she's awesome. I really want to talk about
Holy.
it. I loved it. I watched both parts because there's On the Road continued as well.
I didn't see the second part.
Oh, I saw the second part. It was really good. So I want to talk about what she spoke about.
Yeah.
And
A little bit like Man in the High Castle. I actually think I had a lot more, not a lot more fun. I did really enjoy this book, but I had more fun just learning about Jack Kerouac because he's also such an interesting kind of tragic figure. And also I watched this really interesting video essay. It was about how he was like a reluctant icon, like he hated being famous. And that was ultimately what drove him to basically drink, and then that was what killed him. Died when he was 47.
Oh my goodness.
Of like a massive aneurysm or something because he drank so much. He was a major alcoholic.
Oh my god.
But he was also like a wonderkind. I think he wrote On the Road when he was like 24 or 25. Or maybe older than that. But
love.
Actually, I might be capping when I say that.
Oh, okay.
But he was definitely young, and he was quite the cocky personality.
Was he?
Yeah, he got thrown out of the Navy because he didn't like taking orders basically.
Oh, awesome.
And I guess this book is like semi-autobiographical because it's
we
based
always
on him
choose books that are like that though.
Yeah, we love a book about alienation.
We love we love a semi-autobiographical book about a main character who's alienated.
Big time, and yeah, he has very like Holden Caulfield core, in the sense that he's like, I don't know, he's just looking for adventure, and he just follows this guy on like Dean Moriarty, who's like based on his friend Cassidy or someone Cassidy, Neil Cassidy.
Not Butch Cassidy.
Not Butch.
I love Butch Cassidy.
Never seen it.
Sundance Kid.
Classic.
Okay.
Do you want to? I was gonna say, do you want to try and break down the plot? But there actually isn't really much of a plot. I guess it's more of an outline.
Yeah. Sal Paradise. What a name.
What a great name.
Salvatore Paradise. Oh my goodness. Sounds like an adult entertainer.
Sings like dirty parodies of pop songs.
Yeah. No, like,
Big time.
yeah, so meets Dean, has a life on the road, meets other people, goes from place to place.
Meets Dean's 3 wives.
Yo.
And his 4 children.
There's like 9 million kids that he's got. Also, there's like a bit in it where like he falls in love with like a Mexican woman and she has a child, and he's like, well, I guess I'm his father now.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. Like, it's insane.
Let me just cough to death over here. It is. Dean Moriarty is like one of the. He's like so cool, but he's also like a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I guess in the 1950s,
he's like, he kind of gives me like Gatsby vibes in the way that Gatsby, I know you don't like Great Gatsby. The character of Jay Gatsby was a likable character, but he's also kind of cocky and evil. Yeah. And kind of annoying.
But he was charismatic. Maybe we can do Gatsby for the next episode. So yeah, we've got On the Road. It's just about these two homies
guys
just on the road.
They're jorking it.
Jorking it.
They're jorking it.
Are they or aren't they?
This is the big question. This is the big subplot. This is the big. With hindsight and reading it from a modern view, are they jorking it? Yes, they are.
Okay.
And by jorking it, I do mean their peanuts.
Okay. Are they jorking it?
Are they jorking it? And by I do mean their peanuts.
Well, I think it makes sense if they are jorking it.
I think they're jorking
Since
it.
the Beat Generation, Kerouac were all about rejecting social convention.
They were all about counterculture.
Exactly.
Yes, they were.
That's literally the plot of this book is just counterculture in
It
the
is.
1950s.
Yes,
Like,
but it's also like, and this is a bit from that Yale seminar I watched. It's like, it's very much, the whole tone of it is very much about like, be free, be young,
yeah.
be on the road, life on the road, but also this like, this presence of like this hunger, of like, this hunger of consumerism, this hunger of this need to the sexual conquest, and you need to go out and do things, and it's
always
just
need
this,
more.
always need more.
Hedonism. Like
Yes,
chasing the
and
thrill.
which is very much.
See, since I discovered the word
America.
hedonism when we did the Ripley episode, I feel like I've used it in every single episode.
It's a good. It's good.
It's a good word.
It's a good word, and makes you sound very smart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a great word.
Yeah.
But they totally are. Especially Dean. Dean's a big hedonist.
Yeah, it's like, it's all about counterculture, but it also feeds into American over consumerism culture.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, to talk about Gatsby again, like Gatsby, the whole under theme is like the American dream and overconsumption and all that. And I think this book is kind of the same,
Yeah.
but in a roundabout way.
But it's pushing the boundaries of it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it's like,
Where it's like,
it's
well,
still in the
American
same
dream-
bracket, but it's just a different way of expressing that.
Yeah.
In a way, because obviously this is written like 30 years after Gatsby.
Yeah.
It's evolved. It's a different way. It's a different generation. It's maybe like a different generation's way of still having that overconsumption.
Yeah.
But like being young and free and
Yeah.
on the road.
Don't be tied to
Don't be-
monogamy.
Oh
and
no, monogamy and children.
Yeah,
Oh no,
God,
could
no.
not be me.
Why have one wife when you can have three?
Why have
or four?
or-
a random Mexican lady that you meet.
Yeah.
I know, I hear you, but I think it's also an interesting, like, when you take it into the context of Kerouac's and Cassidy's lives. Like, Kerouac died when he was 47 of alcoholism, and
Oh.
basically. But then the guy
Sad.
that inspired Dean Moriarty died when he was like 42 of like maybe drug related.
42.
Yeah.
That's one of the numbers from Lost. Sorry. I'm like, it's
That's
a
the meaning of
sickness.
life and everything, to be fair.
It is. It's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
just need to know what
it
the
almost
question
works
is.
as like an interesting cautionary tool where it's like, oh, go out and live life to the fullest, but you will be dead within the next
Yeah.
20 years.
You will be dead and you'll be broke.
Yeah.
You'll be dead
But
and
you'll
broke.
have had a really good time.
Yep. You'll be jangling around your last nickel and dime.
What do you think? Did you like Dean as a character? Did you think he was sort of... It was
Dean-
he did unlikable things, but because you see him through the eyes of Sal, it's almost like he's this godlike figure.
Yeah.
He knows everything and he rejects.
Yeah.
And he almost like rejects embarrassment. Like he just does things and he's like, yep, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, it's like at the start, the way that Dean speaks is so, like, he's trying to be well learned and like well spoken and stuff, and like he's like trying to be a well-rounded and experienced person. He's got like this wife and they're moving and they're getting out and they're on the road.
He's a phony.
He's a
He's
big
fakes
phony
it
and a
very well.
fake. And then at the end, he's like, he can't speak anymore, and he's like stuttering and stuff. And
I love the start, the first line. It's just, or the first section. It's just this. I first met Dean not long after my wife and I split up. Which is an interesting opening line because it's like once he had lost that responsibility in
I
his
first
life.
met Dean.
Not long after my wife and I split up.
My wife and I
started
split
jorking.
up as Dean.
But also once he's escaped like the responsibility of being in a marriage, it's almost like Dean enters his life and
As
is like,
like-
let me show you life as a free spirit.
As a free man, but I'm not a free man.
Um,
But I am a free
yeah.
man.
And it says, I had just gotten over a serious illness that I won't bother to talk about, except that it had something to do with an immeasurably weary split up and my feeling that everything was dead.
So he was depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dean came in. With the coming of Dean Moriarty began the part of my life you could call my life on the road.
Full of sunshine
Yeah.
and
brought the
jork.
life back into his...
Yeah.
But there's that interesting part where this book's split into like 3 or 4 parts, I think.
No, 5.
Is it 5?
5.
And there's like at the end of the first part.
Part 5 is like really short.
Yeah. At the end of the first part, it's like they've done a little short road trip, and then Dean goes away and leaves him, and I think he's in like California or somewhere. I can't remember where he's left him, but anyway, and he like really misses him. Maybe they are lovers. The one that I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, the end. Oh my gosh, can I read you the end paragraph of this because it's so sad. I keep like, man.
Absolutely.
The end paragraph of this is kind of weird, and I want to talk about this later because it's like kind of weird. Okay.
Okay. Go on.
So in America, when the sun goes down and I sit on the old broken down river pier watching the long, long skies over New Jersey, and sense all that raw land, and sense all that raw land that rolls into one unbelievable huge bulge over to the west coast, and all that road going, all the people dreaming in the immensity of it. And in Iowa, I know by now the children must be crying in the land where they let the children cry. And tonight the stars will be out. And don't you know that God is Pooh Bear? What the the evening star must be drooping and shedding her sparkler dims on the prairie, which is just before the coming of complete night that blesses the earth, darkens all rivers, cups the peaks, and folds the final shore in, and nobody knows what's going to happen to anybody besides the forlorn rags of growing old. I think of Dean Moriarty. I think even of old Dean Moriarty, the father we never found. I think of Dean Moriarty. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like he's like trying to get Dean to stay in New York, and then
But
he's
also,
like, no, I'll go. And then what's his Laura, who ends up being Sal's wife.
Yeah.
He's like, Laura's like, should we like let him go like this? Like should we go after him? And Sal's like, no, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so sad. I'm like, oh.
It is sad as well when you
like,
think about the fact that the guy that was based on probably died like a few years later.
I can't do that. It's so sad.
But also, it's interesting that in the final part of the book, Sal gets married again. It's almost like he's had his fun, and now he has to go back to life as an adult, which is interesting.
Yeah, Sal kind of strikes me as a person that thinks of his life in phases, and he can move out of a phase pretty quickly.
Yeah, and also I think Dean's like a stand-in for that section of his life. So when he says, I think of Dean Moriarty, he's not really thinking specifically of Dean. He's just thinking of the freedom that he had for those few months.
Dean serves as a marker of that period of his life. Dean, who is stuck in that phase. And
Dean, who is stuck in that phase, but also Sal yearns to be back in that phase. I think he
kind of like
he's settled down, and he
moves on and becomes a proper.
But is he reflecting? Is he kind of feeling sentimental about it, where he's like, the good old days, or is he thinking, I think of Dean Moriarty, like he longs to be back with Dean on the road?
I don't know. I think he just I don't know.
Well, it's funny that the wife is like I think that the idea of the marriage and the wife is a stand-in for like societal norm, you know,
structure,
which is what Beat was all about, like the Beat generation. Let me talk about Beat generation for just a little minute.
I love a good history lesson.
So the Beat generation was a literary movement, basically single-handedly started by 3 writers: Jack Kerouac, William S. Burroughs of Naked Lunch, which I have read and didn't really care for.
Okay.
Wasn't really for me. It's a lot more abstract and avant-garde than this. And Allen Ginsberg, who wrote the epic poem Howl, which I've also never read. But those 3 guys. Kerouac coined the term beat because it was a literary movement that signified basically a move against literary convention and rejected culture and capitalism and it was an age of materialism where it was the 1950s and everything was kind of jolly. They were putting out movie musicals. They were like, Singing in the Rain, which is a great movie, but like
love.
And it was like these guys wanted to come in and be like, well, actually, the world isn't like that. The world is a horrible, horrible place, and we're going to show you exactly why. So that's where the name Beat came from. Kerouac kind of came up with the term Beat generation, because it describes a generation of people that were beat down by society.
Wow.
They were trod on.
Wow.
It's also just a really cool name, the Beat
Yeah,
Generation.
The Beat Generation. Woohoo.
And so yeah, it would have been like the mid 50s to the just before modernism, I guess. And Kerouac actually hated the fact that he had he kind of hated the monster he'd created, I think. He was like, "Oh God, I've created this movement almost by complete accident."
Oh God, I've created a whole movement. Oh,
I'm
poor
sort of-
me. Oh God.
Again, he was like a reluctant icon. He was like, "God, now people are looking up to me."
Oh man, now I'm like an icon of like literary movements. Oh God, what am I gonna do?
But it's funny because when he wrote On the Road, he still had a little bit of like optimism. He was like, but he was like a talented writer. But if you watch him on like any talk shows, like there was a clip of him on a talk show in like 1957 after this book came out, where he seems so horribly uncomfortable the whole time.
Aw.
But then when he starts reading from On the Road, it's like, it's weird. It's like the character of Sal Paradise like overtakes him and he becomes much more comfortable. It's like it's funny, like he inserts himself into this world.
Oh, he sounds like a cool guy.
But then like 10 years later, apparently he was like the worst person imaginable. He was like an alcoholic, drunk. He was like,
Boo.
yeah, just had a terrible personality.
3
And then a few years
points.
later he was dead.
Good God.
So, a tragic character. And there's probably a lot more to say about Jack Kerouac, but he kind of had that Joaquin Phoenix thing where he was almost like an introvert that accidentally became famous.
Yeah.
Which I just think is really interesting. And it doesn't really show in the book, because I think the book, it comes across as if it was written by someone that's like really outgoing
Yeah.
and is like a Dean Moriarty type.
Mm-hmm.
But although I guess Sal is more of a kind of just a sheep. He's just willing to be led
Yeah.
on this adventure.
He's kind of like again, to reference Gatsby, he's kind of the Nick
Yeah.
Carraway kind of character.
We really should definitely do an episode.
Hey man,
you-
let's do it. Okay, Gatsby. Okay, let's do Gatsby.
Okay,
Okay, Gatsby.
we'll do that in the next. Well, the one, what's that? September.
September.
We'll do that in September.
We'll do it. So it's September.
You may wonder why we're talking about September in our July episode.
It's actually a little behind the scenes. It's not even July.
It's actually May, the 28th of May.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Did this book get you in the mood for a trip to America? I feel like
Kind of.
this is like the quintessential American road trip book.
I mean, like, I'm not really going on an American road trip. I'd love to, maybe next year, but I don't know. I feel like this is one of those books where it's like, I'm glad that I read this now, and maybe, and I've taken away what I'll take away from it, but I'll go back to it later on in life when I've had a little bit more life experience, and
Yeah.
I'll maybe see it. I'll take other things away from it, and
Yeah.
I'll see it for what it maybe is, and I'll enjoy it more.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of reading it for this podcast and reading it to analyze it.
Yeah, you'll just read it for
I
enjoyment.
I read it for
Well,
enjoyment.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
reading,
yeah,
but like, I'll read it and I'll go, oh,
You'll be able to take your time with it.
yeah, and I'll go, oh, okay, they're jorking it. Maybe I was jorking it. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. So I've got an interesting, just maybe I was jorking it.
And but I do.
Maybe the
mean-
real jork in it was the friends we made along the way. I have an interesting quote here that's I'm just gonna pull this straight off of Britannica, because I've realised that what this podcast is just you saying interesting things and then me just copying things off the internet and saying it in a less intelligent way. So back to the beat movement, because I think it's really interesting.
Do it.
The beat movement, it was an American social and literary movement originating in the 1950s. It says it was centered in bohemian artist communities of San Francisco's North Beach.
Okay, well, San
So-
Francisco is in this book.
Yeah.
So
And
Correct.
New York City's Greenwich Village,
yo,
home
New
of
York
the true
City
bohemians.
also in this book. Correct.
Yeah. Its adherents, self-styled as beat, originally meaning weary, but later also connoted a musical sense. Which, interestingly, actually, I think I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. This book is like jazz. Do you know what I think? Where it sort of wanders, but it's so
This book
Much
has a lot of
detail.
jazz in it.
yeah.
This book
yeah.
has a lot of jazz in it.
Big time.
And there's something to say about jazz. And I love jazz. Sometimes.
Jazz was a huge part of, it almost reads like an improv. It's like it's like a string of thought. There's not an awful lot
Well, you know,
of
Jack Kerouac did actually just
write
originally
on a
write it on like a big, like 120 foot scroll of paper.
And he just handed it to a publisher.
No paragraphs, no nothing. Just
Yeah.
wrote it, just straight jorking it.
I wonder how this book was received on its published, because I know it became really popular after Kerouac's death, which I think was maybe in the late 70s.
Oh man,
But I
I
wonder
don't
how it
know.
was received when it was published. Although I guess it must have been pretty much like a cult classic if it started a whole movement.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like all the rebellious teens that are
Yeah.
into counterculture read this and were like, oh man,
Yeah.
yo, do I have something for you? Do I have a movement for you?
So the Beatniks, love that. I always wondered what a Beatnik
I
was.
love the Beatniks.
That's just a great name for the one.
I love it.
The Beatniks, they advocated for personal release, purification, and illumination through the heightened sensory awareness that might be induced by drugs, jazz, sex, or the disciplines of Zen Buddhism. Interestingly, Jack Kerouac was very
Yo.
interested in Buddhism. He spent many years studying it. And the Beats found that the joylessness and the purposelessness, wow, try saying that 5 times fast,
Joylessness and purpose. No.
purposelessness of modern
can't.
society was sufficient justification for protest. They just hated it.
They just hated.
It's a bit like postmodernism, kind of, where they just want to reject order.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I
it
feel
would have
like.
been
I
just
mean,
after the war, so
yeah. I don't know.
it was a time of...
A generation will always feel the need to reject and
Rebel.
rebel against the generation that came before them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how history
I
works.
wonder what the next great movement is. The TikTok, the book talk, Colin
Book-
Hoover movement.
Oh no, I can't.
Let's just make every book about domestic violence.
let's not, bro. That's probably my personal hell. All books
Yeah.
cease to exist, but only Colin Hoover. Only Colin Hoover survives. And I love Blake Lively. And
Oh yeah, they're making a film.
they're making a film
that,
about.
aren't they?
And I love Blake Lively, but Blake Lively's in. She's playing Lily Bloom or whatever. Stupid ass name.
Runs a flower shop.
I'm sorry, Lily Bloom. Come on, this isn't a Harry Potter fan fiction
Yeah.
written by
I
a
can't believe
9-year-old.
they're making a film of... Well, actually, no, I can 100% believe they're making a film of It Ends With Us. It's such a popular book.
Yeah.
My sister, actually, true story, my sister came home recently to come and see
I know.
Anything Goes.
Great. By the way, it
And,
was so awesome. It was so awesome.
Thank you very much.
I loved it. It
Thank
was
you.
really good.
I was really... See, on the Saturday night, I was especially thought my dancing was like this.
It was really good. It was so
I had
good.
my toes pointed and everything. It was-
I know.
was
And
awesome.
I noticed. I was like, wow, he can really dance. My mum was like, that was good. That's high praise coming from her.
Wow.
So
She never said anything to me at Little Shop, so I hope she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm terrified of your mum, so I don't want to say anything against her on the podcast. But I
Me
wouldn't say anything
too.
against her anyway. Love you, Shaz. And Hannah came home and she was like, see that book that It Ends With Us? She must have seen there was a trailer for the movie. And she was like, see that It Ends With Us book? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you have that? And immediately I was like, no, you can't borrow it.
No.
She was like, why are you still going to read it? And I was like, no,
No.
but I don't want you to have to read it because it's absolute
It's-
dog shit.
I hate it.
And but you know what? It must be popular for a reason.
It's popular. I don't know.
Everybody's got their tastes, and people aren't, people are going, oh, listen to these two people try to pretend they're pretentious on a podcast. Talking about
I'm
on
not
the road.
pretending to be pretentious. I hate pretentious people. I just hate Colin Hoover. And it's not because I think I'm pretentious. I'm not pretentious.
Yeah.
I just hate Colin Hoover.
I mean, everybody's got their taste. And do you know what? It's not terribly written. I just hate what they're
I'm
about.
just not a big fan. I'm just not a fan.
Okay, here's an interesting question. I'm gonna turn the conversation to this because we're on this.
Mm-hmm.
What's a book that you really didn't like that it seems like everybody else likes? Because mine's Gatsby.
Yours
right?
is Gatsby, and that's like. Why?
But I think I could come around to Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Money by Martin and Me.
but did everybody else really like that book?
Yeah. Well, it's like a renowned book for some reason. It's like, oh, this is a modern classic. It's on the
I
back.
read a lot of classics. Like I read Pride and Prejudice, and I was like, oh god, it's just so dull.
I don't know. I feel like
And I like a romance book.
I do not like a romance book. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really like romance as a genre.
Daisy Jones and the Six.
Did you not like
I
that?
hated that book. I thought it was so boring. Did you like it?
I didn't read it, but I watched the series. Like I watched the TV show.
Oh, what else? Do you know another book that I just don't care for things the like classics, like Emma, like by Jane Austen, or is that Charlotte
okay.
Bronte?
I don't know. Jane Austen?
Emma, didn't like it. Thursday Murder Club. Oh my god, I hated the Thursday Murder Club.
Wait, is that Richard Osman?
Yes.
I love that man.
I hated that book.
I didn't read it.
Oh, it was so
I
boring.
don't know. I tend to only really read books that I know that I'm gonna like.
Well, that would be a good thing.
Yeah. What? I
Do you know
don't
what
know.
else as well? This is like a really random one, and I know I went into this book not really expecting it to like it.
Oh, Skellig. Everyone really loved Skellig, and I hated Skellig.
I've never read Skellig.
We read it in primary 7. I hated that book. Skellig.
Killing Floor, Lee Child, Jack Reacher. I
Mm.
hated that. God, yeah.
Hello,
Naked
creature.
Lunch is Naked Lunch is an interesting. That's a book that I read that everybody seems to really like and I didn't like. But I can understand why it's so polarizing because it's basically just a bunch of portraits of random heroin-induced like hallucinations.
Mm.
I'd be interested to read Howl because like I've heard that's just complete nonsense basically. I don't know. I wonder if they made a movie of On the Road.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, it's got Kristen Stewart in it.
I think there was also a movie of about Jack Kerouac, and it was called
Life
Big
on the
Sur.
Road. Oh, Big Sur?
Yeah,
Didn't
which is
he
based
write?
on what his book Big
yeah.
Sur. But I think the book Big Sur is about his response to becoming famous
Oh.
after On the Road.
Okay. I knew there's like many documentaries. There's like Life on the Road, which is like Jack Kerouac.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to talk about, to get back into like the themes of the book.
Mhm.
I want to talk about Sal Paradise's mystical oneness, and how
His mystical oneness.
Sal does this thing where he likes to go and like immerse himself in other cultures and take those cultures for his own. He likes to he spent some time with this Mexican girl. I think it was like no more than 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and he immediately is like, I'm now this
I am
child's
Mexican.
father. I mean, there's literally a bit in this book, and he's like, I guess I am Mexican now in a way. I'm like, no, you're not. It's like him and this girl and the son, they live in a tent,
Yeah.
and they live next to this black family, and they all go and work in the cotton field.
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, man, I guess I'm everything. I guess it's like I can't pick cotton as fast as these skilled and jolly workers. I'm like, they're not jolly.
Skilled and jolly.
Skilled and
Dying
jolly.
of heat exhaustion.
They're not jolly.
Yeah.
But Sal used to do this thing where he's like, well, I guess I am. I guess I'm taking these struggles that are individual to these communities. I guess I'm part of them now.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's this bit where he goes to this like predominantly like black community, and he's going through, and he's like, wow, they're so happy. They don't know anything of the white man's struggles. I'm like, the what?
Yeah.
The white man's struggles?
What struggles?
They don't know about the white sorrows. And I'm like, huh?
It's interesting. I think like he does the same thing with like his women.
Yeah.
Where
Oh my god.
Because I just
The
pulled
way
up a
that-
random page there.
The
and,
way that they treat the women in this
Yeah.
book is
'Cause he's like,
astounding.
he's like, oh, I like Terry. Like she's cool.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, Terry's the name of the Mexican woman.
yeah,
I forgot.
and it's like for the next 15 days we were together for better or for worse. When we woke up, we decided to hitchhike to New York together. She was going to be my girl in town.
Yeah.
Like he's like, she'll just be my girl. Just while we're in New
Just-
York. Yeah.
Whenever I read like a vintage book, whenever I read like an older book,
Mhm.
I like to see the way the town specific language that they use, like especially when they're talking about their women and having sex and all that.
She
They're
was
like,
gonna be my girl.
she's
in
gonna be
town.
my girl. I'm going to make her. I want to make many women.
Yeah.
And that's how they're like.
Interestingly, actually, I listened to the audiobook of this,
Oh, did you?
and it was
I couldn't
narrated
find
by
one.
Matt Dillon. This isn't going to be interesting to anyone who's on the
What?
podcast.
Which one's Matt Dillon?
Matt Dillon, who was one of the actors that's in The Outsiders.
We
We were talking about that earlier.
Oh my god, I'm going to see The Outsiders on Broadway. I'm so
Have you read
excited.
the book of that?
No.
Oh. Is there a Book of the Outsiders? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I also want to talk about the. There's some really like interesting description of setting, in this book. So there's this quote from page 77
Of
where
your
he
edition.
says, I never felt sadder in my life. LA is the loneliest and most brutal of American cities. New York gets god-awful cold in the winter, but there's a feeling of wacky comradeship somewhere in some streets. LA is a jungle.
Oh,
I just like that.
yeah.
I don't know. And I totally, like, weirdly, I totally got it. I totally related. I was like, you know what? New York is like that, even though I've never lived there like in my life. But
You know, New York is exactly like that. Just
Mhm.
seems miserably cold, but we're all all in this together.
yeah, there's a feeling of wacky comradeship.
I love
Wacky comradeship.
that.
That's
Wacky and goofy
what
comradeship.
beat is all about on the
Whoa.
road. And it did.
Free.
Do you know what? It did make me want to go and just put down my smartphone and go on a road
Smartphone.
trip.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Smartphone.
that
Sorry.
was like such a dad coded thing to say. Put down my smartphone and go and explore the world with my own two eyes.
No, it really made me feel like that. It really made me feel like I want to go get like a Cadillac convertible,
Yeah.
have like a little silk scarf around my head and red heart sunglasses.
Very Thelma and Louise.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Thelma and Louise, Lolita, but without Humbert.
Hell yeah.
I want to be Dolores, but if Dolores was just a girl, she should have been at the club. Sorry, she should have been at the club. I want a Dolores style, coast to coast, American road trip, in which everyone's just really lovely to me, and there's no such thing as the internet or smartphones.
And you meet a cast of wacky characters who join you on your way.
Bro, the wackiest and goofiest characters I'd meet.
Do you know what I liked as well?
And I'd tell them my story.
Do you know there was that part in the book where they went to like a jazz concert?
Yes.
And Dean like pointed at the seat of the pianist or something, and he just went, "God's chair." And I was like, so true.
Bro, I don't know. I feel like me and Dean would be friends, and then probably.
Probably.
Not. I mean,
And then you would realize what a
yeah.
depraved piece of shit he was.
And then he'd like put me on his schedule of like women he has to see. He'd keep me holed up in a
It would make
hotel and
make
like.
your mother his 12th child.
Bro, no, I can't do that. I can't. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. slot. No.
That's your appointment.
That's my appointment.
Wow. You know what? It's
By the way, how silly is Camille and Mary Lou? They're holed up in those apartments, and he comes to see them at the same time every day.
yeah.
Something's
They-
got to
they
be
didn't
going
tip
on.
They didn't tip the hat. Yeah.
You didn't think that maybe
To
maybe
be honest, I don't
something was
think Jack
happening?
Kerouac thinks that highly of women.
Bro,
Probably
I
in a way
can't.
is just a massive misogynist.
There's a lot of misogyny in this book.
It was
though.
1950s. It was a different time.
It was a different time. You know, women.
When women were women.
when the women were women, cars were cars, and
Men
God
were
was Pooh
jorking.
Bear.
Yeah, and God was Pooh
And
Bear.
God was Pooh Bear. Like, wait, what does that mean? God is Pooh Bear.
God is Pooh Bear. He definitely just like took a line and it went, God is Pooh Bear.
God is.
I get it now.
Or maybe like
If I could interview if Jack Kerouac was still around, that would be my question. What did you mean?
by God is Pooh Bear.
Who is? What do you mean?
Like Pooh Bear is in like Winnie the Pooh.
yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
God is a children's story.
God is
It's a godless
hand-drawn
land.
yellow bear that likes honey. And that's it. Maybe it's just
Runs around pantless, but with a red T-shirt.
maybe it's a commentary on the fact that God is nothing. Maybe God is just it's just
Silly
the
bear.
idea of
Silly old bear.
just being a free spirit. And Winnie the Pooh is a free spirit. He just wants his honey, and he wants to hang out with his friends in the
Wants to
100
hang out pantsless. Hang out.
Literally,
He wants
hang
to
out.
let it all hang out.
Let it all hang loose.
Let it all
Like
hang
in the words of
out.
Bruno Mars,
Or Queen.
or that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to
Straight
Og about this
talking.
earlier, but and this isn't to do with this book, but maybe subconsciously it was. I deleted TikTok
Woo! Good for you.
because I was so addicted to it, and I'm embarrassed to admit how addicted I am to my phone, to the point where I studied film,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
You're going to study film,
Yeah.
and I can't watch a film without having to go on my phone.
That's
And
terrible.
I'm like, what is wrong with me?
That's terrible.
Like, I put on, like, let's say, Fellini's La Dolce Vita, which is like iconic, really long, old Italian black and white film, right?
Fellini's La Dolce Vita.
Right.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Which I have on Blu-ray. I spent a small fortune on it on Blu-ray.
Oh my god,
and I was
he's
like,
got it on
I can't wait to
Blu-ray.
sit down and watch this film. And I put it on, and 20 seconds into the opening credits, I'm like, I wonder what's going on TikTok.
Oh man, you're so evil. You're so evil.
So I just went, enough's enough. I'm deleting it. And Instagram's going to be the next to go. But I can't because, you know, there's too much stuff
There's
on
so
Instagram.
I don't even
Yeah.
like go on my phone that much.
Oh God, I'm so jealous.
I don't think so. I mean,
I'm always
well,
like, oh, the new generation, they go on their phones all the time. And I'm like such a...
the
so
only
bad for
times
it.
I really go on my phone is I only really do it when I'm bored. I'm not really on my
Mhm.
phone a lot. Like, I'm not really one for like aimlessly scrolling for something to do.
But I think that's a part of what's interesting about reading. Not to get all philosophical here.
Reading is like
It's like being able to experience boredom, isn't it? See,
Yeah.
if you're like sitting reading a book and your mind just goes like that way where your eyes just glaze over and you're just looking at a blank page and you're like, and you snap out of it and you go, oh my gosh, I was just bored.
yeah.
It's so exciting because I feel like it's impossible to be bored these days because there's always content.
Yeah, I love that way when you're reading a book and suddenly you're not really reading words and you're watching the movie of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when your imagination really like takes, when you really click with a book. This happened
Mhm.
when I was reading Crossroads the first time.
Mhm.
There's like a certain page and I really I remember it so well, and suddenly I was on the mesa. It was so good.
Yeah.
I was like I was the pastor. I was the dad.
I really need to read this book.
Bro.
Crossroads.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to take it with me to America.
Mhm.
You can.
Can I borrow it?
Yeah.
All right, and maybe
I'll-
then when you come
I'll-
back, we could. Do
I'll
an
get my mum
episode?
to give it to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Please do.
Oh, I mean, if you're dropping me off, I can like give it to you when
Yep.
you drop me off.
Sure.
It's
Sounds
my
good, man.
favourite book of all time.
It's a long boy though. Is it sort of
Yeah.
similar to this book?
No. Well, kind of.
Mm.
Different, not really. But also yes. But also no.
All right. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add about On the Road?
On the road,
What was your overall experience with it?
I thought it was fun. I just don't know enough about American geography to really click with it. That whole bit at the start where he's like, and we crossed through Idaho and now we're on the Bear Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back from the Bear Mountain to New York and started again. I'm like, I can't, in my mind, I can't visualize this.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I can't.
But did you not just enjoy
I
the
enjoyed
experience of
no,
just
I enjoyed
being on the road?
the experience of it, but like, I don't know. I need to. I don't know. Like I said before, I'm gonna go back to it when I'm a little bit older, and read it again, and then see what I get from it.
Mm.
The grand takeaway from this book for me right now is, be free. Be
Yeah.
on the road.
Be free spirit.
Just don't let it. Don't let it. Don't be Dean Moriarty. Don't let it like take
Yeah.
over you too
Yeah.
much.
Don't let it corrupt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
And
way to
also
look at it.
consumerism is bad. Reject the generation before you and create something different.
I'm gonna show you a picture of Jack Kerouac right now,
Am I
and I
gonna
want
think
you
he's
to
hot?
tell me.
Smasher Pass is a Smasher Pass, or is this like?
No. I want you to tell me who he looks like.
I'm bad with faces. Who is that? Is that Jack Kerouac?
Jeremy Allen White.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he
He looks
doesn't.
exactly like him
Jeremy Allen White.
from The Bear.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Jeremy Allen White looks like Gene Wilder.
He looks like Gene Wilder too. He looks more like Jeremy Allen White than Jeremy Allen White.
No, no.
Bro, it's the eyebrows.
That guys listening at home, this man does not look like Jeremy Allen White. No, it's just not.
He doesn't look like him in that picture right enough.
Jeremy Allen White looks like Gene Wilder. Jeremy Allen White should play Gene Wilder in the biopic about Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Jeremy Allen White looks like that one bit in Ratatouille where Linguini gets like soaked and then he comes out like, oh,
Totally does.
no, by the way, no joke. I remember this till the day I die. I was driving in the car and I saw just in the open where we live, I saw a boy that looks like soaked linguine, soggy linguine. I'm not joking.
Wow.
I'm not joking. I turned around in the car, looking out the window, so I could like glance at him for a moment longer. It was,
Soggy linguine.
and you know I haven't seen him since. I've been looking.
Maybe
I've been looking.
it was a figment of your imagination.
Mate, yeah, I did go home and watch Ratatouille that night.
I did enjoy this book. While I was reading it, I felt like I was like, what? At the start, like the first 100 pages, I was kind of like, is this going anywhere? Like they're just kind of like on the road.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know what I mean, and they're like meeting people in the back of this truck.
Yeah, but then I got halfway through and I went, do you know what? I'm just gonna settle in and I'm gonna enjoy hanging out with these two guys that are kind of morally
Lovers.
reprehensible and also
Lovers.
maybe lovers.
They're straight jorking it.
But I enjoyed it, and yeah, it's a solid. Not to put a number on it, but I think I'm not gonna put a number on it actually, because I think I'm gonna go back to it when I'm older, just like you said.
Yeah.
And see if it's changed any. Because I think this is the kind of book that when you read it when you're a young free spirit, you're like, oh yeah, man, like totally.
Oh no, like totally on the road.
It's got that whole groovy like energy to it, like just be young, live free and die, type energy to it. But then when you're older, you're like, oh man, I miss those days of being on the road in the 1950s with my friend.
Man.
Yeah.
That's
like,
so sad. It's like, you know, when you get those like, you know, when you're like in your room at like night and then you're thinking, you're like, oh man, I miss that period of life in my life. And there's like, and my, yeah. And it's
I've
like,
never thought that. I'm always moving forward. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. I have periods in my life where I go, oh, that was fun. I missed that.
It's like, you know, I've got like in my life so far, you can like pretty much split up into like
chapters,
and
No
that's what I
pun
do.
intended.
I do that so I can like keep track of time. Otherwise, it's all just like one big mess. But I don't know.
Well, when you get to the ripe old age of 22, then you'll be hit by a wave of existential. Then you'll be like, what was the point of it all?
You're still like really young though. That's
Yeah.
You're not even Jack Kerouac's age.
I know. I've still to write my masterpiece. Maybe
Mhm.
I'll write a version of On the Road, but it'll be like called like In the Scheme.
In the
Scheme. Then it'll just be about people living in a town in Glasgow that where nothing really happens to them and life's a bit uninteresting. But
and you have to go on a
that's the
half-hour
beauty
train
of
to
it.
even get somewhere.
you have to get a half-hour train to go to DiMaggio's.
You have to get on a half-hour train to go to Wingstop
Yeah.
because you're craving Wingstop.
Oh mate, I've never had Wingstops that good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
See, I've got like a few things on my bucket list for when I go to America.
Mm.
One thing is going to Raising Cane's. Do you know
Oh yes,
I really want to go to Raising
Chick-fil-A.
Cane's.
Ever been to Chick-fil-A?
No, I've never been to
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A.
is the best.
I want to go to Raising Cane's so bad. My uncle, who I'm going to go meet after I finish up at camp, says that there's one opening a few miles north from where he lives.
Mm.
So let's
Wow.
hope that that's open for when I go there.
You should keep a travel diary. Maybe
Oh,
one
no,
day
I
you
am.
can turn it into a book,
No, yeah. I know.
just like this.
I would love to write a book about myself. That sounds really self-centered and like really, but like I'd
Well,
love
that's
to.
kind of like what Bret Easton Ellis did.
But like I'd love to write a book of my life, and like in a way that Julia Fox did.
Mm-hmm.
Cause oh man, I love Down the Drain.
Exaggerated kind of manifesto type thing.
Kinda, yeah. It's like
Biography.
where I can just like write in the tone of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can be like be silly and be kind of goofy with it, but then like have, I don't know, and then somebody out there will be like, oh, I also think like this.
Yeah.
She's not so crazy after all.
But you know what? To bring it back round and to put a cap on Kerouac, I think that's what he was wanting. He just wanted to write a book that could invoke a feeling in people that go, gosh, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
That is what the world's like.
Yeah.
And
Probably spoke to a generation in
yeah,
that time.
well, it obviously spoke
more.
to a generation if it kind of started a literary movement, you know. And in a way, that's its real power. Even though Jack Kerouac hated the fact that he had started a movement, like it or not, he did. And it's a very important book, even if it's not for everyone. I can imagine it's quite polarizing because it is very light on plot, but it's
I really enjoyed it. I
yeah,
thought
I
it was
really
great.
enjoyed it, and it's a really interesting book, and I can't wait to finish that Yale lecture. I'm
Oh,
gonna go away and watch part 2.
my gosh, part 2 was so good.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now. She finished the lecture with a history of publication.
Mm-hmm.
This is I love a good history of publication.
Oh, yeah?
I love seeing all the different like.
Do you remember what was the
covers.
history of his publication?
So obviously he handed it to the publisher in one long scroll.
That's insane.
No paragraphs, no nothing. Just here you go.
That's
Edit
nuts.
this. This is my book. Publish it.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It had a few
Edits.
edits made.
Imagine they're just like they just take the scissors to it. And
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cut this.
No,
bit of
literally,
paper out of
like
it.
you can buy. She called it like the scholarly edition for collectors who are scholarly and
It's just a
nerdy.
massive scroll.
And it's like no, it's like you open it up, but like it's like you can like fold it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
yeah. This edition that I've got, I think it's like a year 2000 edition.
Yeah, I was gonna say that really reminds me of like books you used to find at the library.
Yeah, like it's very like gives me like Animorphs kind of vibes.
And it's got a broken spine,
Oh,
which
love a good
I
broken
think is the
spine.
sign of a beloved book.
Yes.
You know what I think?
Yes.
Emily was talking to me about this yesterday. Emily never used to dog ear pages, and I was like,
I don't dog ear
oh
pages.
no, I love dog earing my pages.
Mm.
They're all dog eared.
No, I don't like that. I do love a broken spine though. I think that's cool.
I think dog earing and broken spine is like a sign of a, like if you see a book on someone's shelf that's got really dog-eared pages or broken spine or really broken spine, I think it's a sign of a book that they really enjoy or that
Yeah.
they've read it multiple times. Like my copy of Catcher in the Rye is like absolutely destroyed.
Wrecked.
Yeah.
That was like my edition of 1984 when we did that in Advanced Higher English.
Mm-hmm.
It had loads. I do post-it notes though. If I'm
Mhm.
annotating something,
Yeah.
I've got post-it notes. It's all posted, noted, up the wazoo. It's like kind of crumbly from being in my bag a lot, and it just looks really cool. And I
Yeah.
feel like if you see that, somebody comes into my room and they're like, "Huh, you like 1984? Do you? You read that
It's a
a
good
lot?"
book. It's a great book.
It
Essential.
was on one of my 4 favorites.
Yeah. Spoilers. Oh no, it's not
No,
spoilers
it's
because
not
that
spoilers.
episode's been already.
Yeah.
So not spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I don't have anything else to say about it. You should all just go and read it and form your own opinion.
Yeah, read it.
Just as we say about everything. All right. I guess that kind of wraps up On the Road. Do you have any
I
songs
guess.
in mind for
Oh, we need to do songs. We need to do
On the Road
playlist.
Again by Willie Nelson?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Pretty much just any American road trip song you can think of.
Okay, so I
Route
need to write this
66
down.
from Cars.
Life is a highway.
Life is a Highway.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me write this down. Let me write
Life
this down.
could be a dream.
Life could be a dream. Wait, so what we calling the playlist?
Oh, you can pick. I feel like I always pick.
You make good titles. I'm gonna end up calling this like straight jorking it. Jorking on the road. Like I can.
Jorking on the road.
It's a sickness.
Tunes for jorking it.
Tunes. I can. Guys, this is a separate aside. This is a disease. This is a mental disease.
What, jorking it?
Me and this word jorking it. I need to get it out of my system before I go to America. I'm gonna take this word over to America and they're not gonna know what I mean.
Jorking it? No, they'll know.
They probably created it.
I can't believe that it's taken me this long to come up with this playlist name. Beats for Beats?
Oh my god, beats for beats. Okay.
Or just Beat Beats? Or Beat Generation Beats? Beatnik Beats? Beats for the Beats for the Beatniks? I don't know. So, it has to be a beat pun. Or,
Beat.
yeah.
Beat.
Beats for the Beatniks.
Beats for da beatniks. Da as in like DA.
Yeah, of
We're not
course.
doing the. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No.
Beats for da beatniks.
American Road Trip. Willie Nelson. I just think country music. American Pie.
Oh, of course. So we've got On the Road Again, American Pie.
Of course. Summer of '69.
Oh, of course. But it's not even 69. This is 57. Summer of 69. I want to do Country Roads Take Me Home.
Yeah. Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Oh, take it easy.
What about I don't know, Hotel California? Also by the Eagles.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hotel California.
The Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel.
I love that song.
I love that song too. And
I
I've only just been
love-
turned on to it actually.
Have you just been turned into Simon and Garfunkel?
No. I'm aware of I'm aware of who Simon and Garfunkel.
No,
are.
but I mean, like, are you listening to them in like a big way?
I love Simon and Garfunkel. I think Bridge Over Troubled Water might be the best album ever. Because there's not a single bad song. But I liked like that album.
Okay, I'm gonna say something really controversial right now. I understand Bridge Over Troubled Water. I think it's kind of boring.
What? No, it's beautiful.
Not just the song.
No, it's beautiful. I like it.
I think
I think it's a weird opening song for an album, though.
It's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's kind of boring.
No,
There's so much better Simon and Garfunkel songs out there.
Like what? What's your favourite Simon and Garfunkel?
Wait,
we were listening to Simon and Garfunkel
in the car.
Cecilia.
Yeah. Love that song. That's also on the album.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, but I only just got turned on to Only Living Boy in New York, which might be like one of my new favourite songs ever.
I love that song. Wait, what's my favourite Simon and Garfunkel song? Who is that? Bro.
There's so many. Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, I will never skip on America by Simon and Garfunkel.
The Boxer.
I will never skip on Mrs. Robinson.
Fair.
I'll never skip on Simon and Garfunkel.
I think we should definitely put Simon and Garfunkel in the
Simon and Garfunkel
playlist. That's
I will never skip on the whole. Oh my gosh, I'll never skip on what's that called? April Come She Will.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's yes. What is that called?
April Come She Will. That's the song.
Is it just called April?
Yeah, it's called April Come She Will. I will never skip on Sound of Silence. I'll never skip
I don't care for Sound of Silence personally.
I will never skip on Bleecker Street. Or Wednesday Morning.
Can we put the Boxer in as well?
Yeah. I'll also never skip on Me and Julio Down at Schoolyard. Put that into from Graceland.
That's a terrific
The Graceland
song.
by Paul Simon. That whole album is one of my desert island
You
picks.
should definitely put in Birdland as well. Put in some jazz.
Okay, Birdland. I'll put Simon and Garfunkel. I'll add.
Dean would want the jazz. In the Mood.
I love In the Mood.
Let's play that in jazz band.
That's more swing though. That's swing.
Okay, well, I'll kill myself then.
By the way, I was talking to my piano teacher about this. Our old high school jazz band, most of what they played was not even jazz. It was swing.
No, and they also played stuff like Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah,
I was in jazz band for many years.
Megalovania.
I was never around for when they played that. Is that Undertale song?
Yeah. Yeah, they played that.
Yeah.
And Funky Time.
That's
funk.
Yeah, I guess that's not really jazz, but
I don't think they ever played a jazz song.
they played. That's a good point.
Frosty the Snowman.
I've been lied to. Hey, Frosty the Snowman, jazz edition was jazz.
I'm sorry, but the Christmas concerts would always end with jazz band, and they would always play like Frosty the Snowman or like Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
And Susan Mingus is up at the front playing and also conducting.
Yeah. So what have we got so far?
On the Road Again, American Pie, Summer of '69, Country Roads, Take It Easy, Hotel California, Birdland, Simon and Garfunkel Mega Mix, and In the Mood, We Need More.
Stand By Me by Benny King.
I love Stand By Me. The ending I can't think about it too much. I'll cry. Oh.
Okay, that's all I've got in me.
Okay, Stand By Me. When the night is gone.
As always, the playlist will be in the same place that it always is. It's in the description.
It'll be in the description. I'll add more when I feel like it. Yeah. But that's a good one.
Cool.
Hey, I don't think
You've
anything...
got absolute ages to do it anyway.
I know. No, nothing will ever top... I say this every episode. Nothing will ever top Trip Fontaines of Wayne. I listen to that playlist on the daily.
That is a great playlist.
Oh, it's
Nothing
so
will ever
good.
top Clang Clang Bounce Sounds of Danger or whatever it is.
Clang Clang Sounds of Badness.
Yeah.
Which is just... True
Truck reversing.
Annoying noise to wake
Digger.
people up. I can't.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Put that on in the car and Emily was like, what the hell is this?
It's so funny. I love it.
Right,
Yeah.
Sweet. That's the playlist
Awesome.
section done.
Do we have any questions?
I don't think so. I think our audience failed us this week.
Right. Okay.
But it's okay.
I'm
Guys,
gonna
it's
check.
alright.
I'm gonna check, and if there's nothing, I'm gonna have a word with you.
Oh, okay.
Not with you, with the audience.
Oh, with the audience? Okay.
With
okay.
you listening at home. Yes, you.
Nothing. We've got no questions. You've all failed us.
Oh my
Honestly,
goodness.
Why do we even try?
Why, guys? I hate you all.
Just disrespectful, guys.
It is. It's just disrespect. What on earth is going on?
Do you have any questions for me?
What's your favourite dinosaur?
Pachycephalosaurus.
Awesome.
Or
awesome.
Ankylosaurus. One with a big tail.
Yep.
That's a good one.
My favorite dinosaur is Brachiosaurus. Everyone knows that.
It's a good choice.
Or if I'm feeling kind of scary, a Carnotaurus.
Mm-hmm.
As featured
I don't think I know what a Carnotaurus is.
Carnotaurus is the one that's the evil one from the dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom.
The scary tall one. Yes. It looks like it has been burnt by lava.
Yes.
You said you really you smiled there so endearingly, like like that was a really quality you really liked about that dinosaur. I was like, yeah, it looks like it has severe burns.
Yeah. No, it's kind of scary. That ride in Disney is one of my favorite rides. It's actually getting demolished in favour of an Indiana Jones ride.
Is it?
They're getting rid of Dinoland USA.
What? I love Dinoland USA.
I love Dinoland USA. And they're getting rid of it to make Indiana Jones land, I guess, in Animal Kingdom. Okay.
Well, I'm going to Orlando in October, so if Dinoland USA is gone, I'll let you know.
Oh my gosh. If it's not, you need to ride Dinosaur. It's my favourite ride.
I love Dinosaur. I've been on it before.
I love Dinosaur. I remember the first time we ever went to Disney, I was 8 years old, and I love dinosaurs, but that ride really scared me. Because it's in the dark, and the ride vehicle is so violent.
Yeah.
And it is kind of scary.
It's like Star Tours.
And it
kind of scares me, because I hate simulators.
Okay, right. You're one of those weird motion sickness people. Okay, whatever. But Dinosaur's really scary in the way that there's no safe seat. There's no seat that you can get in that's like going to shield you from the dinosaurs, because they're coming at you from all angles.
Yeah.
And the Jurassic Park ride, the riverboat ride, there's kind of like a seat that you can go in. If you don't, in my opinion, there's a seat you can go in that you don't really get like targeted by the dinosaurs too much.
Yeah.
There's a favorable.
You've got that strategy for the dinosaur ride.
There's a favorable seat, mostly because I'm scared of underwater mechanics. So.
Oh, you've got what, hydromechaphobia, whatever it's called.
Submechanophobia.
So yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's just that one dinosaur, that one dinosaur that comes out and sprays you. I hate that guy. I can't.
Nice.
It brings me to tears. Anyway, love dinosaurs. What's your favourite animal that's in this house? Right now?
That's like choosing between my children.
Yeah, what's your favourite animal?
Griffin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, love.
Griffin, just purely because he's
hanging on in there.
Just hanging on barely by a thread. And also I named him.
Aww.
I do like Ollie. Ollie's the cat.
Ollie was sitting in my lap, and I felt like chosen.
And here she comes again.
Oh, look at this. Look at this wee filler.
Do you know, I was at that after party for that show, and I got so drunk, I don't remember anything between like the hours of 2 o'clock and then 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
And I just remember snapping back into consciousness, and I was sitting playing That Funny Feeling by Bo Burnham on the guitar in a room of people, and I was like, oh no, why am I doing this? This is so
goodness.
bad. And then I just continued to play it.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever been that bad, and where I just snap back into consciousness. I think I kind of like catch myself before I get to a state like that.
I don't allow myself to catch myself. I'm just like, okay, and here we go.
Yeah, no, I don't want to embarrass myself like that.
All right.
You can never see those people again.
No, I missed them all. Miss you guys.
Loved the show. Thought it was great.
All right. That just about does it for this episode, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into what we're going to do in the next episode?
Guys, it's happening. You all asked for it.
Nobody asked for it.
You all asked for it. We are re-recording again. I never promised you a rose garden.
For the third time.
For the third time. We're finally getting round to it. It's going to be great. I know you've waited months and months and months for it, but you have been rewarded.
So we can finally deliver our commentary on this obscure book.
Because I had really good analysis, and I'm not going to let it go.
Good. I'm going to let you lead the discussion.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Another Bog episode. Love. Big love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bog episodes are what people need. I'm just here to read Wikipedia.
We did, months and months and months ago, we did do that Instagram story where everyone chose me over you.
That's true.
So.
And hey, I'm all right with that.
Yep. Straight
I've accepted it.
Yep.
All right. So I Never Promised You a Rose Garden by Joanne Greenberg.
By Joanne or Hannah Green. Or Hannah Green.
That's next on the 1AM Book Club podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, take care of yourselves. Wear your seatbelts. Go out and buy a book and read it. And you know what? Let us know if you enjoyed it, and we'll let you know.
Have a great summer, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy the month of July.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. We're having an on the road summer.
I'm going to Italy. I've been to Italy by the time this
Really?
podcast
Oh
is
my
out.
goodness.
Yeah, hope it was great. I'm sure it was.
Oh my goodness. I really want to go to Italy.
And Bog, I hope you're having a great time at camp.
I really hope so too. I really hope I've made loads of friends. I really hope I'm in the middle of like a love quadrangle
I'm sure you will.
in which everyone revolves around me.
Oh, that's the best kind of love quadrangle.
Yep. I'm in the centre of it and I'm totally oblivious.
It's
and
a love quadrangle, but everyone just loves you.
and everyone just loves me. And in the end I go, no.
I'm me.
I'm me. I'm Bog.
I will love myself.
Live together, die alone. That's a Lost reference.
Okay.
And goodbye.
And that finishes our Lost section of the podcast. It's just been an episode about Lost.
I love Lost.
Oh yeah, that's what you
Anyways.
guys have got to look forward to on the next episode of the One Book Club podcast. Take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Big love you
Big
guys.
love.
Go away and read. And does the cat have anything to say? I wonder if the mic will pick that up.
I really hope so. It's so cute. And
Anyway.
she's making biscuits on my leg. I love it. Okay.
Anyway, guys, go read on the road. Enjoy a book.
Goodbye.
Take care of yourself. Bye, guys. Bye. Love you.